Going on with our critique series about shit hits the fan guns. This one's going to be older bolt action military rifles that have been converted to 7.62 NATO. Okay, they have a little niche in there. But before we get into it, if you would please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and if you could, become a member. Okay, military firearms after World War II and that, there were a ton of bolt-action guns. A bolt-action rifle was somewhat of a standard issue weapon, and they were made in the millions. And they kept going with a lot of countries post-World War II still were manufacturing and issuing bolt-action rifles in various calibers, also the older calibers. 303 British, we have some examples here. 303 British 7mm and 8mm Mauser. And what I have here is a couple examples of what governments did with their old guns, basically, I guess, for training or whatever, the Spanish especially. We have a FR8 and there was a FR7, which is a small ring. And they made these with the same sights that went on their semi-automatic rifle to train troops to use the sights, and trained them in marksmanship before they caught up with actually issuing the weapons that were going to be used, the Set-Me-See. Next we have here from India. This is kind of a unique gun. It's the older 303 Enfield, but these guns were made with a brand new receiver and barrel in the 7.62 by 55 NATO. And they were kind of used as a stopgap thing, you know. They weren't just rebarreled, they actually were a new rifle made. And again, older gun, longer, heavier gun, but it's in 7.62 NATO. Then we had the Spanish again, converted a lot of these small ring guns into the 7.62 NATO. Those were originally 7mm, and a lot of people say that the 7mm Mauser cannot handle the receiver, cannot handle the pressure, and you can go on your own. If you want to play it safe, then go with it. I have a couple of these and I fired them and I don't see a problem. But the Gun Geek did make a specific video showing how they destroyed one of these conversions by shooting 308 ammo through it. So, make your own choice. Alright, so that's where these guns came from. And also, I'll go over that when we talk about the collector value. And with, okay, I'll do it now, but and with the way Milsurp is, the price on these guns has gone up to a ridiculous rate. And especially the FR8s are extremely high. This particular gun here, the one from India, the conversion here, I kind of got nailed in an auction. If you can find something like this for about 300, beans, 300 units, whatever, then that's not a bad buy, especially if the bore is in good shape. Same with the Mauser. Any basic bolt-action gun that has a real nice bore, a good stock, finish on it, not rusted or busted stock or whatever, you're looking 3.5. Okay, is a fair price. 5, 6, no. Okay, but unfortunately, the way the market is, that's the way it goes. But if you can score one, see, go like this one here, I kind of got screwed. I was going to put a bid in for 3 something, and I went to a crooked auction guy where he did this, okay, 3, then all of a sudden he pointed somebody behind me, and the next thing I know, I had to pay a little over 4 for it. And the FR8s are extremely expensive when you go to auctions, adding a 24%, even if you get it for less than what a lot of people are looking for on the gun broker. It's a tough one. So if you got one way back, or if you go to an auction, nobody knows what the hell it is, and you can pick it up reasonably, that's a good buy. Alright, so first one, shit hits the fan, okay? It's in a caliber that's available, okay, where 7mm 303 British and 8mm Mauser, these original calibers, may not be that easy to find, okay, unless you have a stockpile of it. So they're in a caliber that you can readily get the ammunition and stockpile it for such an event. They're decent guns. They, have the power in that for a shit hits the fan situation, and they're better than not having any gun at all, okay? They're a solid rifle. Granted, they're not as nice as, say, an AR or an FN or an AK or something like that. So just a general purpose gun, we'll give it about a 7 for end of the world or whatever. At least you got something that's rugged, reliable, and won't break down on you. But it is not the same. It's old technology, a bolt action gun. It's not the same in same situations as, say, an AR or an AK. Home defense. Again, these are way too powerful. People have told me, living in an apartment, whatever, use frangible ammunition or whatever. And again, the case is too. In the city, in an apartment, or, in the suburbs, this is a little bit too much, okay? If you live out in the middle of nowhere and have a large property, then this fits the bill. So I'm going to have to give this like a 5 in terms of home defense. Hunting, because 7.62 NATO is a good commercial caliber, and there's plenty of different types of soft tip hunting ammo. For hunting, this is going to score a 10. Okay? General purpose shooting, if you collect old military guns, the ammunition is probably easier to find, surplus ball ammo, or just full metal jacket for plinking and shooting. So general purpose shooting, and then again, ammo cost, I'll give it, say, an 8 for general purpose recreational shooting. Say we get into the militia type of thing, unless you had a bunch of people that had the same model gun and the same caliber, it serves the purpose in a natural disaster, where it's not the end of society, it's temporary, and, you need to just hole up for a month or so or something, or days. It'll work, it's better than nothing. So I'll give it a 7 for that. Collector's item. Like with any Milsurp plus that's complete in that, the value of the weapon goes up. Okay. So as far as collector's value in that, I'm going to give it a 10. Ammo price and availability. The 7.62 NATO is a tad bit more expensive than, say, 5.56 or 223, or even, but it's up there about the same. When I did my AK-47, the cost of the ammo and the ammo for this about on par, so it's a little bit more expensive in the ammo, but it is readily available. So we're going to give it an 8 on ammo cost. Reliability. I've never really had a bolt-action rifle fail on me, even old Milsurp plus ones. It's simpler construction, and if the gun is in good condition. Now, when some people go and buy these things from these discount houses because they don't want to pay hundreds of dollars for a decent example, they go buy them from these companies, I ain't gonna mention their names, where the guns got broken stocks, got parts missing, an extractor, something, and they try to resurrect these guns into usable condition. Then I'm going to say you're going to have issues. But if you get these, they're in good shape, and you never know. Nobody screwed with the firing pin. The only thing you'd find with these is if somebody left the gun cocked for 10 years, you might have a weak firing pin spring. Okay? But in general, reliability, and because of the question, they are old guns, and you don't know where they've come from, I'll give reliability a 9. You got that factor, never knowing. So reliability, you don't really have to worry about spare parts. You know, if the extractors are good, and you can find spare parts for most of these guns somewhat still readily. Maybe not. Okay, yeah, that's parts, repair, accessories. Going into that, sometimes finding the parts nowadays, because a lot of people do repair these old guns and try to fix them up to get more money. So once the value of surplus went up, all your parts disappeared. In the old days, it used to be easy to find parts. They were around, and there were companies that would take guns that were, had parts missing, or say the bolts missing and that. And they would take these guns and disassemble them for parts, but not anymore. Somebody finds a gun that's been sporterized or has bits and pieces missing, they scour the internet to get the gun complete and increase the value of their find. So, gonna have to give that a 6. It could be problematic finding like extractors, firing pins, things that normally break. And it also depends on the model of gun. Some guns you may be able to find parts easier, and some you may not. Overall, cost and value. Like I said, these things go high. If you already have one, it's a good gun to fit in this niche. And trying to find one at a reasonable price could be difficult. It depends. And you always luck out. Sometimes you find an auction where nobody bids on them. Bid early, put a low bid on it that you feel comfortable with. And every now and again, you might win. And then going to the local auctions where they have an estate or something. Generally, it depends who shows up to the auction, but you may go there and there'll be somebody that don't know nothing about old military guns. They may have come for something else. And you can find that you can pick some of these up for a very reasonable price. But then again, that's kind of like getting a winning lottery ticket, But that's it. They serve a purpose, and a worst case scenario, one of these is better than, say, like a 22, okay, or a 410 shotgun, So they have a place. All right. Thank you, and stay tuned.